Hello my friends and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George and I'm back again with another collection update, taking you through recent additions to the collection. Picked up some pretty interesting vinyl recently, got them on Amazon during their spring deals week, and actually, you know what, I was pleasantly surprised. I actually did manage to find some pretty decent deals. Always like to support the smaller sellers, the more independent labels and distros and such, but sometimes you can find some decent deals on those bigger sites. And I'll take you through this very nice batch. I am really chuffed with all of these. We've got some true gems and old favourites of mine, and some articles that I've been toying with getting for quite a long time. First up, we have the second album from the kings of the new wave of British heavy metal, the NWOBHM giants, Iron Maiden, with their 1981 album Killers. Now, this album, strange one for me, because a lot of Maiden fans, a lot of metalheads hold this album in very, very high regards. I'll be honest, I was quite late to the party with this one. I've had the CD for many, many years. Wouldn't even like to say how many years I've had that one, but never really got into this one so much. If I fancied a little bit of early Maiden, Paul Di'Anno era Maiden, tended to go for the self-titled debut. Tended to gravitate towards that, which is a great album. But actually, in recent years, I've been revisiting Killers a lot more, and I feel like it is a great album. It is a superb album. I would say it's a little bit more honed and refined, maybe, than the debut, which is still an amazing album. No discredit whatsoever. Benchmark classic, pioneering new wave of British heavy metal stuff. But what I like about this album is the bit more kind of energy, a little bit more oomph it had, a little bit more heaviness to it. With tracks like Wrathchild, of course, that's been a Maiden live staple for many, many moons. We've also got Murders in the Rue Morgue, which is great. Genghis Khan, which is a classic. The title track, which is brilliant, of course. Prodigal Son, Purgatory, and Drifter. Great stuff. Really good, really energetic heavy metal. Maiden really, really were, and in my opinion, are still ahead of the curve. They were always the pioneering band. And this album, this really helped to rocket them into the status, the mega status that we know today. Of course, it didn't do quite as much for them as the albums that came after. But still, this is a great album. This is a bit of a gem. And actually, I would recommend it to anyone that wasn't all that familiar with the new wave of British heavy metal. I feel like with that guitar duo of Dave Murray and Adrian Smith, I feel like they just had that twin guitar magic right from the off. And of course, Steve Harris, what a freaking legend, absolute bass killer. Clive Burt on drums at this stage, of course. This is pre-Nico, and the late Paul Di'Anno on vocals. So I've been toying with getting this one for a long time, and because I've been slowly getting the Maiden albums on vinyl, despite having them on CDs, and I'm chuffed with this one. It's a really nice version. So this is the 2015 remaster. Nice sort of glossy effect sleeve there. Just a black vinyl, but yeah, it's a really nice piece, definitely. And it's got a great cover. I mean, there's no disputing that. That's a great cover. So Killers, love it. Up next, we've got two more Maiden albums. We've got two recent reissues. So this is, of course, Maiden's their fifth album. Rather important album, Power Slave. I believe this was 86. No, apologies, 84, of course. Somewhere in Time was 86. This has recently been reissued. So I do have this on a black vinyl of the same run as this Killers album. The 2015 remaster is very nice. But recently it's been reissued as a gatefold. It's got a nice gatefold package here. Not so glossy. Matte effect there. Great cover, of course. Absolutely iconic. But what's unique about this is it's a zoetrope. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that quite correctly, but a zoetrope vinyl. So I was unsure as to what this actually means in reality until doing a little bit of research online. It turns out that it effectively produces a picture disc vinyl that produces a visual effect when it's played. So I haven't gotten around to playing it yet, but as you can see, if you study very closely, there's little designs and little bits of artwork relating to the songs throughout. I mean, it looks really cool, but when this came out, it might have been 2024, it's a little while ago now anyway, a few months at least. It was really, really expensive. It was 40, maybe more than £40, which seemed, to be honest, quite extortionate. You know, I love Maiden. I absolutely love Maiden. They are a favourite, an all-time favourite for me, and for many metalheads, of course. You could probably get 10 metalheads together, ask them all if they love Maiden, and guaranteed at least 9 of them are going to say, yeah, I love Maiden. Duh. But even for someone who's a real Maiden fan, maybe a diehard, don't know. I would say that £40+ or 60 for some of the other reissues is a little bit steep. However, pick this up for 17, so that's a much more realistic and reasonable price. And it's a really nice package, actually. So we've got cool expanded gatefold, as I say. We've got that very nice heavy duty. It's really high quality. Haven't played it, you know, just visual inspection and feeling the weight of it. It's really high quality. And we've got, on this version, which we didn't have on the other one, we've got a nice insert with new notes from Steve Harris. Open that up. We've got all of our lyrics, and I'm one of these saddos that if there's a sticker on the shrink wrap and I can peel it off in one piece, I will, and I'll try and stick it somewhere that doesn't cover the artwork. So as it says, special Zoetrope edition includes 2015 remastered audio, expanded artwork, blah blah blah. 40th anniversary, Power Slave. Love it. And as I say, it's a really nice package. If you can pick it up for, I don't know, I'd probably pay somewhere in the £20+ mark. I've got it for 17, which I'm very happy about. If you can get it for that kind of price, I'd definitely recommend it, because it's a really nice thing to have. Definitely for a Maiden collector, a Maiden fan. And also, it's just a benchmark album. I think for a long time, this, I'm going to say, was my favourite Maiden album. There's a couple of others that are very close, but classics like Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Duelist, Back in the Village, Power Slave, Rhyme with the Ancient Mariner, full of gems. So definitely pick that one up if you can. Power Slave, 40th anniversary. One more Maiden article then. You might have guessed, we've also had Somewhere in Time, the follow-up album, album number 6. This one released in 1986. This is a gem, a true gem, and it's been enjoying new attention and appreciation over recent years, because of course it has been brought back to the live setting with some deep cuts being performed on the Days of Future Past World Tour that Maiden have been doing, absolute road warriors. And to celebrate that, they have reissued this, Somewhere in Time, as a colour vinyl, and including I can never pronounce it, is it a lenticular print? Call it a lenticle print. Sounds like a bean. Lenticular print. So, we've got the Days of Future Past World Tour. As you can probably see, it's celebrating Somewhere in Time, but also promoting the newest album, Senjutsu, which is actually a few years old now. But this is a really cool little print, actually. It's it definitely appeals to the kind of sci-fi fan. Video gamer, maybe, I don't know. But it's really cool. Looks very retro. That's a nice piece to have. I might try and put it up somewhere. And then we've got our insert here. And a very interesting wardrobe choice from Bruce with the sort of crop top thing going on there. Interesting. And if I can carefully extract this vinyl, we've got a very nice, bright, colourful, summery, or more springtime yellow vinyl. Very nice. And it is a nice piece, actually. I really like it. I do have this on the 2015 black vinyl as well, but love Maiden. So picked this up for, it was 20 something pounds, 22 pounds I think it was, or something. When this came out, and I think it might even still be that price elsewhere, it was 60 quid, 59 quid, pounds, to forgive the slang, to be more professional, 60 pounds, which is extortionate considering it is a single sleeve vinyl. Nice, you know, sleeve, glossy artwork, full, yellow, yes. 60 quid? Not sure about that. Certainly not if it's just got this. If it had like a, you know, expanded art book and a live album, another disc, obviously like they've done with Number of the Beast, reissued it with a double live album, live at Hammersmith. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. Regardless, it's a nice package. Great album, absolute classic. Caught Somewhere in Time, Wasted Years, Sea of Madness, just the whole album. This is extremely good. I love it. So we've got Somewhere in Time as well. Lovely article to have. Up next, we have another absolute personal favourite of mine from my favourite band, the mighty Saxon. We've got Carpe Diem, which I love. I absolutely love this album. It was my favourite album of 2022. And I have the CD, had that since it came out, pre-ordered that. But I stumbled upon this rather nice box set version. So I previously toyed with getting the vinyl. I saw it available reasonably priced. But this was about £19. Box set version, including what just fell out, a patch. We do have a flag as well, which is the same art as this patch. So I won't wrestle that out of the packet. But a very nice large patch there. Really cool, high quality artwork box there. It's a really nice feel to it. So it's not like a cheapy box at all. And then we've got this wonderful gatefold vinyl version. Great lineup shot there of Saxon, the mighty Saxon. NWOBHM Kings. There we are. And just remind myself, is it a printed inner sleeve? Yes, it is. With an insert as well. So even more. I love this album. I actually revisit this one quite frequently. So we've got this cool Carpe Diem print as well. Art print there. Very cool. Printed inner. Very nice indeed. Of course, this was the last studio album from Saxon to feature the now not in the fold full time, I think only sort of contributing, but Paul Quinn. It was is an absolute guitar legend. Just a black vinyl there. But it's a really nice package. Absolutely brilliant. And what a tremendous album this is. I absolutely love it. It was my favourite album of the year of release, but with tracks like, just reading them off the back here, we've got the title track, Age of Steam, The Pilgrimage, Dam Busters, Lady in Grey, All for One, Black is the Night. Such a good album. Absolute hairs standing on end release, that is. And then, so we've got the vinyl, as I say, gatefold. We've also got the CD. So you've got the complete Carpe Diem package here. It's a really nice piece. Absolutely fantastic. Silver Lining Music. They've done a great job. I love it. I think it's an absolute standout album. I do very, very much enjoy Hellfire and Damnation, of course, but this is a marvellous release. And really nice. For 20 quid, £20 or less than, I think £19, you really can't argue with this nice package here. So that will look the part on the shelf. Incredible artwork. I love it. It appeals to the history buff in me. Right, so then we have one last article. So when we're talking about legacy bands, heritage bands, can't omit the mighty AC/DC. Now, say what you will, they are very mainstream. They are very accessible, of course. They're not heavy metal, but they're certainly heavy rocking. They are a band of mega status for a reason. And the reason is because they have produced some amazing albums. They're one of the best rock bands in the world. And this is probably one of the best. I'm going to say probably because just as soon as I started to say that, the likes of Power Rage and High Voltage and Flicker the Switch and Blow Up Your Video and Rock or Bust, Power Up, all come to mind, and they are all incredible albums. Even Fly on the Wall, underrated gem, of course, going back to the Bon Scott era. Back in Black, though, is a benchmark album. It is one of those perfect albums. Of course, it's got all the hallmarks and bears the stamp of Robert John Mutt Lang. Of course, a very renowned, legendary producer. Released in 1980, this album was clearly influenced by the growing movement of heavier rock bands and heavy metal, definitely. And what AC/DC did after the tragedy of the passing of Bon Scott is they got Brian Johnson behind the mic stand there, and they produced one of the greatest rock albums of all time, in my humble opinion. Back in Black. Hell's Bells. Just that. Shoot to Thrill. We've got Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. Of course, it's just thrown me, actually, because the running order is different here, of course, on vinyl. So, I'm used to it being a certain way on CD. Had the CD for many, many moons, but Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. You Shook Me All Night Long. Have a Drink on Me, one of the biggest rocking anthems ever. But this is really nice. When was that? 2003 reissue. Lovely picture inner sleeve here with all the little flyers and ticket stubs. We got that great shot of the Hell's Bells. Imagine that hanging up there in Donington. In fact, I've seen my dad's ticket stub from that year, whatever year that was, 1980. Must have been. And inside, it would be wrong to have this album on a colour vinyl. So we've got Back in Black on Black. The part. In fact, that's interesting because it does say here the running order is the same as on the CD. So that is interesting. I'm not sure. One of them's wrong, either that or I'm just getting my brain in a total muddle. But what a classic. What an absolute classic. Really nice insert though. Really does stand out as being one of the best rocking albums of all time. Freaking love it. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favourite AC/DC album, controversially, but I would say it's just a benchmark. So AC/DC, The Legends, Back in Black. Chuffed to actually have a vinyl copy of this. Love it. So there we have it. A humble collection update, all vinyl, all gems, all absolutely worth checking out. If for some obscure reason, maybe you're new to heavy music, you haven't heard any of these albums in particular, check them out. Maybe some of these are long overdue a revisiting, in which case, check them out because it's worth it. So my friends, what are your thoughts and opinions on these albums, on these bands, on these versions? Have you picked up these versions? What are your thoughts on these Maiden reissues? Let me hear. Thank you very much for watching. Please do feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. The support is very much appreciated as always. Thank you very much. Do check back soon for more reviews and recommendations of all the good heavy things. Do take care of yourselves, and until next time, listen to metal, stay freaking heavy.